Hey everybody, Tom Sparks with Sparks Media Group. So today we are back on my favorite Pro 3 testing ground, Mare Island in Vallejo, California. And what we're going to do today is continue our testing of the Pro 3. I have a 99% battery. I fully charged it and then it dropped a little bit over the last day or so. So I'm almost at a full battery. And what we're going to do here is, if you remember from the last video, there was a significant amount of delay between scans and aligning with the Pro 3. I thought it might have been because of the number of scans that we were working with on this particular tour. I reached out to Matterport, and 3 weeks later, a month later, they responded and said, oh, there's a firmware update you should do. I was reluctant to do so, but I did do the firmware update. And we shall see how this goes. Coincidentally, if this doesn't work out well, I did purchase a new iPad, and I'll put a link in the description to the new one. So you may see that debut here today if it doesn't work out with this one that I'm on currently. This is I think a 4th gen 2020 model, and the one I purchased is a 6th gen. I believe this has 6 gigs of RAM, and it does have a 1 terabyte hard drive. The new one is a 2 terabyte hard drive and has 16 gigs of RAM. So here we go. 302 scans is where we left off last time. And I'm going to pick up, do the top of this right here. So we're going to do these stairs. And then my goal is to kind of just fill in. So let's have at it. First scan starting now. And I'm fully expecting it to fill in right at a little past 159. Let's see. And the app crashed. That's not a good sign. Today is Sunday, February 12th, 9:52 a.m. Where I'm at, it looks like it's currently 50 degrees Fahrenheit. We're just waiting for the app to reload. I did not buy a new iPad just for testing purposes. I bought one because I have a fairly big project coming up this week. And knowing that I would be doing more than 300 scans, I didn't want to have any issues. Still updating map. Okay, let's try this again, shall we? We'll come around the corner. And again, fully expecting it to be right at 159. Hit the scan button now. All right, it scanned pretty quick, transferred pretty quick, and will it align? Let's see. We have a crash. All right, so I'm not gonna do this all day. I'm gonna take my happy little Pro 3 back to the car, and we will swap out the iPad with the new one I bought. Quite frustrating. You would think that, I mean, I guess the iPad is 3 years old, but it's an iPad Pro 12.9 inch, was top of the line at the time, and you know, I would expect it to work. You know, I've done other scans other than this one since I was out here last and haven't had any issues at all. So for whatever reason, this iPad is not a good combo. So we're going to stop our screen recording here and just leave all this on so you guys can see everything. Unplug this. The other one. Turn that off. All right. Now, I don't know that I've connected this new iPad before, so we're gonna. Okay, we are back. We are screen recording. We are connected. Let's see what this does. So, looks like the same iPad, huh? It's not, I changed it. And what I want to do here, we'll keep that. It's going to be annoying. So I'll flip it over. And I'm going to lock it so it doesn't turn on me. All right, just got to make sure I don't hit the screen lock button. And let me adjust these straps here. Sorry guys, I'll get it together. I like it to hang low. All right. Go a little lower than that. Okay. Now I was curious if maybe the screen recording was causing the app to crash, but I've done screen recordings before and never had any issues. I'm thinking it could be a combination of screen recording, 6 gigs of RAM, and number of scans, but I guess we're going to find out here in a couple minutes because we're using our new iPad. So that's level. As level as it's going to be. And we'll hit the button. Make sure we're all recording now. I'm going to come around the way so it doesn't see me. All right, scanned quick, transferred quick, and we have an alignment way off. Wait, maybe we don't. That's 314. That one's accurate. Let's go back to where we were. It's interesting that, so there's 311, right? The one we just did. But it beeped and then teleported me over here and highlighted 314. So this is the last one I did a couple weeks ago. It was 314. And now it went backwards in the numbers. But it aligned and it didn't crash, so I'll take it. Go up a few more steps. Now it jumped to 315. I don't get it, but I'll take it. Stand up here. Be adventurous. I really want to see how many scans I can do. We started at, I'll call it 314 for all intents and purposes. And we'll see how far we get before the battery dies or the iPad crashes, whichever comes first. Well, it's acting like its normal self. You'll have to excuse the echo. I'm in a gazebo. There's a huge echo in here. But yeah, the iPad's acting, or I'm sorry, the Pro 3 Matterport app iPad is acting quote unquote normal. Let's see what this looks like here. Yep. Okay, gazebo is done. Now, I'm kind of going to just free flow this, if that's what you want to call it. And we're just going to kind of scan to fill in this massive tour we've been working on. Don't really have a plan in place. So we'll just scan and see what we get. I'm going to reply to Matterport support ticket with the links to the videos. I think they're helpful for them. But yeah, some of their troubleshooting steps is a little off. I mean, yeah, I get it. Update the firmware. But it doesn't make sense if the firmware is working great for other tours and just not one tour. Why would updating the firmware matter? So the only conditions that have changed in order to get this to work accurately is I have new firmware on the camera and a new iPad. So I'm gonna throw it back on and throw it back to, it might be the iPad. If it is the iPad, then Matterport needs to have some sort of requirements for the Pro 3. If they don't already, I don't know that I've seen those, but they need to say, okay, if you're gonna scan up to 150 spaces, we recommend you get an iPad that has these specifications. If you're gonna scan over, you know, X amount of spaces, you might wanna get the most expensive iPad they make. This iPad that I got here was, I don't know, maybe $2,300, if I remember correctly. If I'm wrong, I'm sure I'll hear about it in the comments. But yeah, I just got it literally like 3 days ago. So I'm just kind of filling in this grass area here. Should have worn different shoes because my socks are getting wet. So there's some pretty cool monuments around here that I'm hoping somebody will appreciate. So I'm gonna try to scan those as much as I can. I'm doing a 3D tour of the area, so people can go and look at the monuments and read it and stuff, you know, virtually, not have to come down here to see it. Yeah. Okay. Coincidentally, if I was gonna make a best practices guide, I would say, you know, keep the tripod about 4 feet away from whatever you're trying to read. I guess depending on the font size. We'll see how this comes out in the tour, but well, previews are looking good so far. When I come up on these plaques that I can't read, I like to take cell phone pictures because I might be able to I might want to add them on the tour later. Now that I have my camera out, or my cell phone out, we're going to open up our clock app, and we're going to record how long it takes to do a scan. So I'm going to hit the button right now. Almost 17 seconds. 6 seconds. And 5 seconds. So let's do this again. It's kind of hard juggling 2 things at once, or 4 things at once, as it were. All right, let's come back over here. We'll do this out in the open. So we're going to check the time for scan time, download time, and alignment time. I never walk too far away from the Matterport, so download time should be fine. But we're gonna hit start right now. All right, that was 16.29 seconds to scan. That was 4.92 seconds to download. And 6.4 seconds to align, so we're at 27.62 seconds. Stop that. Now, if I remember correctly, that's on par with what it is for, regular scans. And I'm gonna have to refresh my Pro 2 memory, but it's not a significantly huge increase, I don't think. Maybe aligning is better, but from what I've experienced, Matterport is, oh yeah, you can scan a lot quicker. That's kind of true, but it's not the huge time savings that I guess I was hoping for. Still impressed. I mean, a scan every 30 seconds or so is not bad at all. But the Theta Z1 obviously scans a lot quicker. Now, if they can just add LiDAR to the Theta Z1, we'd be in business. Feature request. Rico. Get some shots of this plaque. Somewhere I saw a Google Doc that had, like Matterport feature request wish list. I'm gonna make my own. So if you have any features you really want to see Matterport roll out, comment them below, and maybe, just maybe, my channel will have enough traction to get some pushed through. This project I have coming up this week actually is a pretty big project, and it would be great to be able to tackle it with you know, 2, 3, 4 cameras, but it's not gonna work out well because I would like to keep all the spaces connected, and certain somebody left Matterport, and so now they're charging for stitching, which I hear is ridiculously expensive, and I don't want to pay for it. I'm gonna cut through the grass here and get back on our merry pathway into this area where the ammunition bunkers are. I'd like to scan around those. So we came down that path and come this way. Might as well get a shot of this. Okay. And check something out real quick. All right, let's go this way. So here we are, probably right around 176, maybe? Yeah, so we're gonna continue down that way. Now in these outside spaces, you know, you can scan pretty far, but you want to keep the alignment points, you want to keep the scan points with visually interesting areas or intersections, line of sight, that kind of thing. So I'll explain my method here. I came about, 15 steps from there to here, and I stopped here because I want to be able to show that side of the cement and that side of the cement going this way. And that'll make it easier to align. As you can see, hopefully it'll align. Thinking about it, maybe I went too far. It doesn't seem to like canopies of trees. That's what I noticed. I was getting a ton of alignment issues a little on down the road here, the pathway, and it was because I was right under a canopy of trees. And I think it's just freaking out with that much data overhead. Yep. So let's bring it closer. Maybe right here. See what it does. And I don't know if it's because there's small branches, because there's movement, or because of both. Because I certainly don't get these issues inside houses and other spaces. All right, well that aligned. Just keep it a little closer in these areas. See what it does. So we've done about 30 or so scans, and we're at 84% battery. So this is about 15 feet from the previous scan. That up a little higher there. Okay. Now we'll go down this way. Now on these bigger rows, I tend to place my scan points further apart than I would on the narrower kind of aisleways, if you want to call it that. And I always like to give people multiple pathways. So as an example, currently, once you come over here, you're only able to kind of navigate this area from here or from here. But I am going to put some scan points to connect it to this roadway, which is right over here, so that there's multiple pathways in and out of an area. You know, if this had been a nice square building, my scan points would be nice and aligned and in good order. This kind of looks like an Etch-a-Sketch gone wrong at this point. Alignment's all over the place. So I think even though this is for testing purposes, I tend to think about if I was somebody walking on a pathway, you know, which way would I want to go? What would I want to see? What's visually interesting? Not all of these small, narrow passageways are interesting, so we're going to kind of leave them off. Might be enough data to fill in right in this area here. Put one more. Can't hurt. Now my plan is to scan all this and then start working my way back that way along the other side of the street. We'll see how that plan goes. Decent amount of distance away from my car. I should have brought a spare battery with me so I could just swap it out. Plan ahead, they say. How do you guys feel about music in between the long pauses of talking? What kind of song choices would you like to hear? Elevator music, Sheryl Crow, Tupac, the Beatles, Elvis, Billie Holiday. Throw out some song choices and maybe I'll add it to these videos. I'm gonna teleport myself over here, and we did both of those pathways. I came around. I'll go down here to the street and work my way back. Now, 398. Oh, I found that, okay. So I'm scanning about every 15 steps, which is probably about 20 feet in reality. And I'm doing that because I want to get done with the middle of the road quickly. So a little over an hour into this, we're at 66% battery. 408 scans total, but not for today. I started right around 3:14, so we're almost coming up on 100 scans. And I'm just trying to fill in little areas that I think are visually interesting, like I said. See how this goes. Noticing some misalignments here that I'm hoping Matterport will correct. Can't talk this morning. There was some misalignments way down here in the 268 area. So yeah, it's kind of some shadowing, I guess is what we're calling it. Again, just kind of connecting the areas. I wanted to be able to go from like the 140s, just have it all one kind of connected path, or a bunch of connected paths, I should say. Now, previously I kept 142 on the first floor. So what I'm gonna have to do is, because I'm gonna make a second floor for these stairs, I'm gonna have to move all those other scans to the second floor. So we'll go to second floor. Hopefully this will align right. And it did. So now we're going to go back to first floor, and I'm going to take 142, 140, 144, and we're going to move those to the second floor. Takes a while to move. But it did it. All right, now we're gonna go back and do the pathway. It's over here. Had a cobweb or something on the Pro 3. Not for lack of use, but I don't know, something was hanging off it. Let's see how this looks. So I've been out here now for an hour and 20 minutes, and I have a new battery pack I'm using. You can see it right here. We're at 71% battery life on it, and I started with this full. And this has been powering my GoPro and the iPad. The iPad wasn't fully charged when we started. It's currently at 90%. So this is a 50,000 milliamp hour battery. And I bought a couple of these. It has a light on it. I'll put a link in the description to this product. It has USB-C and 2 USB-A ports. I don't know the voltage. Actually, I do. 4.5 volts, 5 amps on the USB, the 2 outputs. And then the Type C, we have 5 volt, 3 amp, looks like, if I'm reading that right. So for all you electronic and electrical geeks out there, you can read up on it on Amazon. All I know is it charges multiple devices, and I like it. Battery packs have been kind of the staple for doing this type of work. I probably have about 4 or 5 now that I use. Not at all at the same time, but when I'm recording, I have one that's powering my GoPro because the batteries on the GoPros are trash. And then I have one that powers the iPad. I have a smaller one that powers my Theta Z1 / Ricoh Insta, I'm sorry, not Ricoh, / Insta 361 RS 1-inch, whichever one I'm using. Multiple pathways. Mare Island has a museum. It's right over here. I don't know if you can see me pointing at it, but it's been closed, I think, due to earthquake damage, which is kind of unfortunate because there's a lot of history here. So I don't know, guys, this seems to be working quite well. We're at 58% battery on the Pro 3. 432 scans total, but to refresh our memory, we started at like 314, 311, somewhere around there. Once I get done with this pathway, I think I'm gonna call it a day. Because it's Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm a Niner fan, so I'm going to be rooting for the Chiefs. Now this is maybe the 3rd or 4th video I've done out here doing some tests with this. I'll put a link in the description to the other videos, particularly the one where I tested to see how far you can go in between scans. That was a good video. Well worth the watch. I know it's long, but it's definitely worth watching it. I guess if you didn't want to watch that whole video, you could fast forward to the end to get the answer, but it gives me an idea for the next video that's going to be long. I might just put the answer in the middle. So there's no cheating, you're going to have to watch the whole video. That one's taking a while to align. Are we going to get an issue? Oh, no. Why? Okay, we'll go backwards. I hear you. So if I'm looking at 446, we don't have time to wait for the preview. Yeah, we know that's oh, maybe that's why. Okay, so 446 was actually right there. We'll go, maybe we did go too far. We'll start right here. Again, canopy. You'll see that I'm under all those leaves and stuff up there. So it really doesn't like leaves. Leaves and small branches, which sucks if you're doing a 3D tour of a forest, public park, that kind of thing. Let's go backwards. Jeez. You know, this particular tour I'm doing has a bunch of different elevations. There's, you know, the street down here, then we're about maybe, I don't know, 5 feet up here, 6 feet up here. And then if we walk that way where the stairs were that we just did, that's another like 20 feet up. So I'm curious to see how you guys handle elevations outside. Comment in the description and let me know. Are you doing like, you know, a floor for every 5 feet you go up? How are you doing that? Because so far this has all just been one floor except for that upper area that we just did by the stairs and except for the gazebo. I put that on a second floor. All right, so when you have trees, twigs, leaves, that kind of thing, you're gonna have to scan closer together. And you can tell that's true because 443, 444, 445 were all a nice distance, and then 446 through 449 were all pretty tight. think when I'm all done with this, all done with all these testings, I'm gonna add up how much time I've spent. I think I'm at about 3 or 4 hours right now on 450 scans, give or take. It's a rough estimation, but an hour for 100 scans, maybe? Does that sound right? Today we're at an hour and a half so far. We're at 448 scans. We started at 311, 314, somewhere around there. 45% battery, 472 scans, give or take a few for misalignments. That's total, not for today. All right, guys, well, here's some kind of rough stats for right now. An hour and 52 minutes, roughly, of scanning. We started with a full battery, and we're at 44% on the Pro 3. Total for this tour is 477 scans. I started it roughly 3:14, so that leaves 163 scans that we did today, plus a few extra for misalignments. So there's the stats. I will upload this to Matterport for processing and put a link to the tour in the description so you guys can check it out. But we're all done for today. Comment below if you have any questions or thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Like this video if you feel inclined to do so. Share it if you find it useful. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. I would appreciate it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.